Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak. How a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
And that would be yours truly. Good evening, everybody. And again, welcome to The Swimming Pool, SWYM. That is the acronym for Say What You Mean. Do you know how important it is that you say what you mean? Well, I'm going to tell you as I come on your screen in 3, 2, 1. Here I is. Here's hoping you've had a wonderful week already and you're excited about whatever's going to happen for the weekend. Unlike most people, every day is the same for me. And that only happens because I'm considered self-employed. And I don't necessarily punch a clock, but I have to get up early, to get the work done that I have contracted out. So although I don't get in my car and drive anywhere, I do have to break out. Of course I do. But my point, wow, hold on a second. My son would be sending me a text message. Oh, he's in the gym sending me something. I have to stop for my son. Anyway, how's everybody doing? This is what I called just Free Fall Wednesday. I do have a canned guest that I'm going to bring on a little later on, and I have another guest that I'm going to talk to, and it's just kind of like kicking it around. I'm just kicking it, freestyle. Here's hoping that you're going to be okay with that. By chance, if you'd like to chat with me, I'd love to chat with you. Please send me a subject, a topic, whether you want to talk to me about it or you want me to just talk about it, generally speaking. I don't mind. Either way is fine. I'm going to talk with my guest. We're going to talk a little bit about the royal family in a few minutes and or whatever comes up. Also, I'm going to talk about a post that I put on one of my social media today. And I'm going to go right to that. I'm going to read it. I want to say hello to Christine, who's hanging out with me, and the 3 other people that are online with me. I've been finding out, I think I've got some stalkers. Not real stalkers, but, people that don't let me know they're watching, but they're just kind of watching. I got a little system that I use, but I'm going to leave that alone while I investigate. Anyway, so if you're watching me, I'm watching you too. Anyway, let me go, and I hope I don't get shut off here. I'm going to read my post from a couple days ago, and I would just like your feedback, in the description if you want to comment on it, or if it's something you want to talk about. I'll remain open. But it was heavy and deep for me. I'm finding that writing is therapy for me. Hey, Kimberly, as well as coming on doing this live stream. So I'm going to go to the post and I'm going to read it for you. I hope I don't shut off. Let me look at my monitor back here. I think I'm still on. So here we go. It's called Doomsday for Bullies Only, and I'm going to read it to you. It's in the form of questioning. Trust me, there's a whole lot more to this, and I can't put it all on social media, so that I can share, I share it. So it's called Doomsday, and it's a series of questions, and I want you to think about it as I ask, and I'm going to read them real slow. I have plenty of time, so I'm going to get 2 guests on. The last one will be the canned guest. It's It's a rebroadcast, but it's good, interesting. So here we go. This is Doomsday. I think I'm going to need something here, to help me with this. I like this tune from my project, so I'm going to read it with a little softness in the background. My voiceover coach would tell me to make it live. Okay. Listen to these questions. How does one not think of threats they constantly hear and see? Is it, oh wow, I would get distracted. Hang on a second, y'all. I'm going to start that over. Here we go. How does one not think of threats they constantly hear and see? Is it just by believing that no weapon formed against them shall prosper? What is it? What is to be done about bullying situations when no one comes to your rescue? Why must innocent victims suffer in silence? Why must they act out before anyone acknowledges their pain or suffering? Why is retaliation viewed as acting out? Although evil never wins the war, why are there so many victorious battles? Why is it unnecessary? Why is unnecessary suffering necessary? Why does the truth take so long to be revealed? Why are lies immediately exposed? Why is an innocent person ever persecuted? How does powerful emotions and legal procedures hide truth in plain sight? Why does restitution not restore injustice? Why are false accusers not held accountable as they intended for those they falsely accuse? I'm going to read that one again. Why are false accusers not held as accountable as they intended for those they falsely accuse? Why is evil tolerated? Who is justice intended for? Is justify even a real word? And then this is to break the monotony. I said, the chicken came first. You know that little saying about which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, I'm making it official. The chicken came first. You don't like it? Step across this line. We'll talk about it. Okay, there, I said it. Why are we instructed to forgive those who trespassed against us? Why? Questions just to make you think from the mind of yours truly. Anyway, I'm going to take a short break and I'm going to come back with my first guest. And when I come back with my first guest, we'll chat for a few minutes and then I'll take another short break and then we'll come back with my last guest. Okay? Don't move. I'll be right back.
Mighty Horn Music. Smooth jazz, top 40, R&B, inspirationals, and more. Live from the Hollywood Home Studio. Like, share, subscribe. And thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate that. That was short. As I said, I do have a guest standing by, and we're going to chit-chat, and we're going to go. Hello, guest. Are you there?
Hello. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, it's no problem. I would normally tell my guest, my audience rather, something about my guest, but as you know, this live stream, we don't say names or locations or anything like that. We just kind of go for it. So no one will know who you are unless they recognize your voice. And speaking of your voice, I'm going to let my audience know this is a strong Latino voice. And sometimes I'm going to have to say, huh? What'd you say? Just be patient with me as I try to understand what it is you might be saying, because earlier I was like, huh, what? Anyway, what we're going to talk about is anything. First of all, I'm going to talk about the royal family with you, since it's heavy and in the news. But you remember those things that I just read? I'm talking to you.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Did any one of them stand out that you'd like to break the ice and let's just chat about? Or would you like to answer one, or just, did anyone strike you in any kind of way?
Yeah, I like the why is unnecessary suffering necessary?
Wow, you would go there. I don't know if I could answer that because it was a question for me, but I'll let you take a whack at it first. You tell me why unnecessary suffering is necessary.
To grow up.
Say it again.
To grow up. To be better.
To grow up.
To
learn.
Be
better. To learn.
Yeah, sometimes we don't think that something bad is happening, and we have to be thankful because that happened. If it doesn't happen, we didn't learn enough to stop doing it or avoiding it.
So you're saying that unnecessary suffering is necessary so that we can grow and learn.
Yes.
Okay. Can you give me an example? Because I do want to chime in on that. My thought was going to be similar to that. Can you give me an example of why it's necessary to suffer?
Yeah. Well, for example, when you don't have organization or a system, and you think it's not necessary go through all of the suffering of organizing, and then you realize when you are organized that it was like necessary to like go faster, be better, be in shape. So this is like you need to go through all of these things that you don't like it to be better.
Okay, so let me say back what I think you meant. You're saying that, okay, if you are not organized and you go through a system of where unorganization causes you a problem, you have to go through that in order for you to learn why then becoming organized is good or better for you.
Yes.
Okay,
true.
That's a good one. I like it. I mean, sometimes, even as the host of my own live stream, I can't top some things, and that's definitely one that I can't top. But I'm going to give you one that I was thinking, and I guess the key word is unnecessary. Unnecessary suffering was the what do you call it? I don't want to call it a trick question, but that is what I was hoping would make someone think before they responded to the question. So I'm going to leave the word unnecessary out until I'm going to address that in totality. But I think just suffering in general might be necessary, as you said, so that you can learn. And I'm going to give you an example. Sometimes I remember teaching my son how to, whenever he was young. I remember he got some rollerblades, and I had him on the rollerblades, and I was teaching him how, and he had on elbow pads, he had on knee pads, and the little hand things, and he had on a helmet. And I was concerned about him falling, and I remember saying, if he doesn't fall, he's not going to learn, how to skate. And that was the same way when I taught him how to ride the bike and even the skateboard that he, suffered through for a little while. I knew that I had to let him go through that and get a little dirt on him before, he would be able to even trust himself. I remember one of my favorite movies, Denzel said in Training Day, he said, you got to get a little dirt on you before anybody can trust you. So I'm kind of sort of relating that, to this scenario. I had to let him get a little dirt on himself before he would be able to trust himself. And of course, my reason for asking that question was somewhat religious based, in that, our Heavenly Father or our spiritual supervisor would kind of let us go through something so that we could learn. and that's just my example of why unnecessary suffering is necessary. And I kind of wrote that in the middle of, just thinking out loud. And of course, when we go through stuff, it really doesn't feel good sometimes. Actually, it hurts. And every time, I go through stuff, as I look back over my life and I think about how I got over, I look back and say, wow, it was tough, but I made it. And if I'm still here, that means I'm either on the way and I'm probably going to make it through this situation. And I do believe I am, as I always have, but I have to go through, what it is I have to go through. So I've been doing a lot of talking. You want to talk some now?
Yes.
Okay.
So there is this meditation, active meditation that is called, that is you have these movements like dancing, and you start playing with your problems and your troubles, and you throw it to the air, like then back, you're dancing with your troubles and your problems. And at the end, when you're relaxed, getting along with your problems in the dance, so you say thank you to them, because without them, you didn't grow up.
Okay, so what I think you said was active meditation. And
Yes.
so that means subconsciously in your mind, you create whatever your problems are, and then you put on some grooves and you start dancing.
Yes, with them.
You dance with your troubles, and then after the song goes off, or after you're tired and sweaty, you say thank you, and I needed to get through that.
Yes, and you let them go. You say thank you and let go.
Okay, I can imagine that being some type of therapy homework, and I
Yes.
can see how that would work. And you know what? I'm going to actually try that. Tomorrow I'm going to dance with my problems and see how that works out. I'll get back to you and let you know how it works.
Yeah,
That
so
cool?
you can play your own music.
Yeah, I can do
I
that too.
just do
I
that.
did have that in mind when I said dance. I was thinking of dancing with my horn. By the way, last night I did a gig. I've been doing some gigs, and I don't talk about them all, but last night I did a gig. I was about to say a cruise ship, but on a chartered yacht, and it was really cool. I went out with these people, and it was just the most awesome thing. And I found myself, really just dancing, just becoming one with my horn, as I always do. But it was a great experience. So I want to thank my clients for hiring me, and they gave me double for my trouble. They booked me again, gave me a super nice fat tip. So I'm loaded. And I'm grateful for that. But anyway, we're going to move along, and we're going to get into, what I wanted to talk to you about before I get on with my guests. And I'm going to only, keep you for maybe another 10, 12 minutes at the most. So I had a conversation with someone else in regards to the royal family. Now, I just want your thoughts on it. And I'm going to tell you how the conversation went. Two people that I had the conversation with said something in regards to Meghan Markle. I guess that's Prince Harry's new wife. Said that, she created havoc inside of the royal monarchy, and that, what she did was not good because she knew what she was getting into before. And once you get into that, you don't decide then that you're going to expose what's on the inside. And they had some things that they were saying about her, making her some type of villain, because now, Prince Harry is now no longer a part of the monarchy. He's ousted, he's gone, and he's lost his inheritance. And, the two people that I was talking about seem to be not so much in favor of her and or her actions in terms of what she did, or whatever role she had in that. And I didn't have a side either way. I try to remain neutral, and if I do have a side, trust me, I will speak my side. But I like the idea of being neutral if and when I can, to see both sides of, of any story. And I said something to the effect of, I don't know enough about it to talk about it, but I can't imagine. Well, no, I want to get your thoughts. What are your thoughts about what happened, and then just share generally your thoughts.
Well, when you marry someone, you marry the family too. So this is the one of the most important things. But what is
Okay, hold
there?
on.
Yeah.
I can't
So
believe. Hold on. You said something that I want to respond to. You said when you marry someone, you marry the family. Do you
Yes.
mean that?
yes, yes.
Okay, hold
yes,
on
yes.
now. I'm a stickler for words. You marry the family or you marry into the family?
Maybe into the family.
Okay,
the right
hold on a
words,
second.
or-
Now we've got to stay focused. Now I'm about saying what you mean, and I don't want to cut you off. But what you just said is probably laced with what you're going to say after that. And if your thoughts are that you marry the family too, then you're going to say what you're going to say based on marrying the family. And even before I let you get into that, I was like, okay, do you marry the family or you marry into the family? And you changed it. Now, I don't want to be accused of influencing you or manipulating you, because what you said, either you didn't mean it or now you've already changed it. So I don't know what you were going to say, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to say what you were going to say. So you said when you marry into the family, or when you marry someone, you marry the family or marry into the family. Which is it?
I guess into the family is the right expression.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my English is.
Oh no, that wasn't English. But I'm not.
So. Okay. But then you have the idea, right?
I have what?
The idea, no?
Well, no,
But
I heard-
when you join
I responded to what you said.
your husband or your wife, they come along with their family and what they bring, right? And what you are going to bring to them. So this is kind of an untold agreement, but for them that they are so conventional and the monarchy, they told each other what was going on. So I guess is the trust of bring another person into the family that he choose, but then they later on change their mind and decide to go in their own way. And I guess she is very independent, and she is not used to do this type of life that she got into, and she decided to don't go with that life, and it's fine. And I admire her husband, Prince Harry, that he supported her and he moved away from his own family and his own rules and his own things to have a normal family, to be a father, to be the type of human being that deserves love and without all of these crazy rules and stuff, that even if the funeral was so tight, imagine the life.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, and I sort of said something to that because I'm going to give my take in a few minutes, and it's along that. But one of my audience members stated here, they're saying that Andre says, you marry the whole family, or you marry the family. And Andre, we go back like Cadillac, and I'm not going to say you're wrong in any kind of way, but I just want to add to that. You marry into the family. To say you marry the family is kind of tough for me, and maybe we can talk about that, Andre. But as even my guest said, she changed it. You marry into the family. So what I think I'm hearing you say is that you think that she got into this royalty and she decided it wasn't for her, and she decided to go her own way, and her husband followed her. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Right.
Now, clearly you are speculating, because just like I said to the other two people that I had the conversation with, we don't know the whole story. And you can't just go by, what the news says, because the news will tell you, of course, what they want you to know. But, in my effort to consider both sides of the story, you don't know. I can't imagine, as they say, someone know what they're getting into, and then they get into it, and then they decide, okay, now I'm going to spill the beans and I'm going to expose all the bad stuff. You can't imagine that being the case, but of course we don't know. But you said something that you admire the fact that they made an independent decision. My question to you now is that are you entitled to do that in a monarchy, or should you kind of suppress how you feel and go with what is expected of you?
Well, I think the monarchy, and I was surprised when there is so many queens and kings still in Europe, in Holland and Denmark and all of them. They still, like, Europe is still so with so much monarchy all over, and they still living from countries like Africa, in Africa, and so they feel entitled to do all of this because they have this old trajectory from 100 years or 1,000 years of being in that way. So if someone like wants to be out of that, they're not going to forgive them easily, I think.
So, what do you think of the people who think that she did him a disservice? Because what ultimately happened was he lost his birthright and his inheritance, and he is no longer a part of the family because of his decisions. What do you think of the people who say that it's her fault? She enticed him, she manipulated him, or she, persuaded him to give up, his birthright and his family. Could it be her fault at all? Is she responsible?
I guess the question is if they are happy, if he is happy, if he is happier. Because I guess even if she is a strong woman, she is still giving him the opportunity to say yes or no. We are moving to Canada, to US, or wherever, and he is like free to decide. No, we cannot say like he is like a dumb person that is getting manipulated by his wife. I think it's an agreement between them, and he choose be happy instead the materialistic stuff.
Andre says again, and I like interacting with my guests, he says that he is still a part of the family, he is just not in line to the throne. Well, of course he's part of the family because, he's blood, but I'm saying he's been considered disowned. And if you're not in line to the throne, that is the biggest part of, being, a part of the family. If you don't get the benefits of being a part of the family, then you're not necessarily a part of the family. But I get your point, Andre, and thanks for throwing that in there. And I'm not sure I got your answer, in regards to, people who think she's the villain. Yes or no? Do you think she influenced him? You think it's strictly her?
No, I just say like it's
I
a
might have missed
decision. Yeah, both of them, and I guess he chose to be happy instead like having all of the titles and stuff. And even if she's strong, you cannot like point fingers on her like she's the evil one and the strong one, because it's not. It's just, I guess she's independent, she's smart, she's beautiful, and she has been doing so much good things before even she met Harry, like working in organizations to give stuff in Africa. So it's not like about that for her. It's just, I guess, also based on what happened with Harry's mom, he's still with that pain. So it's a way to pay them back, to say, I can be independent of you.
Okay. Well,
but I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. One of my examples to the second person, I talked to a female first and then a male first about it. And I gave an example to, the male, and I was saying that, being a part of the royal family is something to be grateful for. And I can imagine her particularly marrying into that, how that may have made her feel. But then, the person was saying to me that, it's a privilege to be a part of that. And then I said, I want to add to that it's a privilege to have what it takes for someone to choose you to be a part of that. So it wasn't like they did her a favor. Whatever she came to the table with to cause him to say, okay, I like you enough, I love you enough, I care enough about you to invite you into my family. That says something about her background, her character traits and personality, that says, she was enough for someone of royalty to choose her and bring her in. And then as it relates again, because we don't know the story, and I'm trying it all on, and let me speak now first for the monarchy. Of course, that is an establishment that has been there for decades, for as long as we know existence. And of course, you want to keep that intact. And I can only imagine if this person from the outside comes in and they are doing things that actually break, the concentration of where the family structure, that they would, of course, want her out of there. So I understand that, if someone comes into my house and I've got a set of rules and then they start acting out of that, you're going to have to go. So I get that. I understand that. But then, in speaking for Harry and his wife, if they're inside of there and she's starting to notice things that he probably would have never been able to even look at and maybe bring to his attention, and perhaps maybe she did, who knows how much influence she had. But sometimes when someone is there to open your eyes to something that you ordinarily would not have seen, you have to give a little, credit towards that. But getting back to my point, I know I'm out there a little bit. I was talking about the movie Black Panther, particularly in the end when it was going off, and he said, I would rather die than to be a part of this. And he said, just throw me into the ocean. And he talked about the slaves, when they were abducted from the coast of Africa, as sold into slavery and bought into slavery, how some of them jumped ship. And some of them ran away and decided, okay, I'd rather just, be dead, than to live and suffer and be a part of who I'm not. So I can only imagine if she was excited about coming into the royal family, only to then get there and say, okay, I can sell out and be who they think I should be, or just take my chances and hit the road, Jack, and don't come back no more. So what do you think of that in terms of maybe that could be the case? She just decided and he just decided to go with her, or maybe they decided together. I don't know. Maybe royalty is not all it's cranked up to be. What are your thoughts about them deciding to do that?
I guess they have too much hypocrisy. Because Prince Andrew, he was, with all of these scandal with Einstein, the guy that raped teenagers or that, or they were there. And there is the new King Charles, that he is now the queen is her mistresses, and there is so much stuff that they are talking about values that they are not an example. So if it was me, I maybe choose not to be in those type of rules and just live away. If my husband wants to be with me, run away together with our kids, I'll be happy to have that.
Okay. All right. So I think we're just going to go on and leave that subject alone. I do have another guest that I'm going to bring up, but I want to thank you for coming onto my live stream, especially with such short notice. I really appreciate it. And I just want to say before you go, thanks for just chopping that up with me on that subject. The reason I'm doing this primarily, and I'm still finding my way through, primarily it's therapy for me. I call myself a loner. Everything I do, I pretty much do it alone. I do have some very dear, friends that are close to me, and even some family, that I chat with here and there. But being able to talk is good for me. But what I'm talking about is what I want to just say before you go. And thanks, for, supporting this. But the idea of talking and listening and hearing is very important. I think I'll go to my grave believing that, if we're open enough, that we can solve conflict. There's no reason to hurt inside. Now, mind you, if somebody doesn't want to talk to you, or if somebody is, done with you, so be it. That's another live stream. But, the willingness and even understanding the importance of trying to talk and trying to hear and trying to listen and being okay with the truth, is important. So I want your thoughts on my concept, and then I'll go ahead and I'll let you go. What are your thoughts on whether or not, talking solves anything?
So if we don't talk, we are going to eat ourselves our own thoughts, and we cannot share the intelligence and opinions from other perspective, and so we cannot feed our own conclusions and be better and be bigger. So I think you have to talk and explain and try to listen. Yeah, I agree with you. This is fun, and thank you so much for having me here, even with my accent, and it's horrible, I know. I'm sorry to everyone.
It's not horrible. You just have to slow it down sometime. That's okay. One or three last questions before you go. Yes, these are yes or no's. Do you believe there's an answer to every question, yes or no?
So repeat again, please.
Is there an answer to every question?
No.
Is there a solution to every problem?
Yes.
That's funny. So, okay, I won't try to. So here's the other question. How important is it that you leave a pleasant aroma whenever you encounter interactions with other fellow human beings? How important is it that when you leave the room or when you leave a situation, that you leave a pleasant aroma? Is it important, or is it necessary?
It's nice and it's cool and it's appealing if your brain receive that is a gift. If you don't smell good or you have a nice aroma, so it's not necessary, but it's so just nice.
Okay. So is it important to leave a pleasant aroma behind when interacting in society?
Yes.
Okay. That's all. I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you. I honor you. I respect you. Thank you so much for being my guest. I'll invite you back another time, okay? Till then, take good care of yourself. Okay.
You too.
Hey, y'all, do me a favor. Don't move. I'll be right back. I've got another guest that's coming up. It's kind of funny. It's one of those back and forths, whenever I was first getting started, but I want to share it with you. It's called The Meaning of Mean, and I'll be right back with that. So hold the spot you got. I'll be right back.
The Swimming Pool with Travis Bridges is a talk segment about talking. Talk about talking? Yes, talk about talking. It's designed to bring awareness to how we listen, how we hear, and what we do with the information we receive during communication. The mind is automatically programmed to protect the body and soul. It displays that through each and every encounter we experience. If any part of the body is threatened, the mind will automatically issue the flight command. The flight command to retreat to safety. Well, that same command is also deployed when our ego is threatened. The ego, yes, the ego. It's so natural and common, it happens oftentimes without us even knowing. Engaging in conversation and staying focused on what is present is considered mental fitness. It strengthens our emotions and helps us to gain control of our circumstances instead of having our circumstances overtake our thinking and our very existence. It's a difficult task to achieve because our feelings, beliefs, and desires are so strong that it causes us to totally disregard even the most common or basic reasoning. This live stream is only here to bring awareness to that subconscious process. Nothing or no one is actually wrong. However, the idea of being open to anything outside of what we've already concluded is golden, especially if the new information is transparent. The Swim developers would like to say thanks for supporting, watching, listening, and sharing this information. Now, back to the swimming pool. Let's dive in and swim.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to answer your other call. Is it ringing? Answer it. Oh my God, are you there?
Yes.
You couldn't answer it? I thought you were answering it. Why didn't you say hello?
You didn't answer back. I've been saying hello. I was wondering why one call is on hold and the other one was muted.
I hung up the other one.
Well, now it shows that it's hung up. You come onto this one and then you're scolding me because you don't know how to handle your phone.
Maybe I am. Maybe I didn't hear you.
You know what? The next time I see it's your call, I'm not going to answer because I know you're going to be mean to me.
Why do you think I'm mean to you?
Because you are.
What have I done or said that fits the
Everything.
description
It's like
of the
always
definition of
mean
mean?
every time.
Okay, hold on, stop for a second. First of all, tell me what your definition of mean is.
That tone of voice.
So my tone of voice is mean, not me.
I don't have you close, so you can't be physically mean.
Okay, so hold on a second. So am I being mean to you, or what I'm saying sounds mean to you? Because you said I'm being mean, but then the first thing you describe is my tone of voice. So which is being mean? Me or the tone that I'm using? Because if
Your
I'm...
demeanor.
Pardon?
Your demeanor that's being expressed through your tone of voice.
Say that again?
Oy.
I didn't hear you.
I said your demeanor is mean and is being expressed through what you said.
My demeanor?
Through your voice. You're
My-
mean to me.
What is my demeanor?
You're grouchy and short and just
So now you're going from mean to grouchy to short. Which is it?
all of those things. All of those
I
things,
can't hear
all of
you.
those-
I can't hear you. What are you doing? Hello?
Here.
Why are you so far from the phone?
None of your business. I went to the bathroom.
Oh my
Get my body.
God. But that's not considered mean. Although I could allow my emotions and feelings to call it mean because you're talking to me from way back there. I can't hear you. You didn't say hold
What does
on.
that mean?
Say it again. I didn't hear you.
I was drinking water. Hello?
I'm here. I've already lost the momentum I had. You just killed my vibe.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Oh, you're happy that you killed my vibe?
What vibe is that? Call me because you are upset because you cannot take a joke about me being in the hospital because you care about me. So because you're upset with me, then you yell at me and you make me feel like you're just mad at me over that thing. because you have no sense of humor, and then after that you just proceed to lash out at me. And the fact of the matter is, I am in the middle of trying to get some work done so that I can get out of here.
So you don't want to talk to me now. You can't talk right now.
I really can't. But I
Okay.
accommodated all of that.
Right. Including calling me mean. So when can we have a conversation about being mean to you and what mean means and whether or not it's me or my tone of voice and all of that? We were the path we were going down. When can we finish that conversation? Because I don't want to be accused of being mean. And if I'm mean, then okay, I want to be mean. I want to be intentionally trying to be mean. Because right now I mean you no harm, and if it's coming across as that, you know, I don't know what I need to do. But if it's coming across in that, I may as well make it legit and actually do something mean. So when can we have the conversation?
Not today.
I didn't ask you when we could not have it. I want to know when we can have it.
Saturday.
Saturday when?
At 10 o'clock in the morning.
10 a.m. Saturday morning. Can you put that on your calendar and you be the one to call me at 9:45?
No. I'm not going to do that because you're the one who wants to talk to me.
I know, but you're not available now, so I'm going to be available whenever you are. So I'm asking you just to show me that you mean it. Will you reach out to me? Would you do that small favor for me and call me at 9:45 on Saturday morning? Just for me. I mean, if you love me. It's just a small favor.
The question is, why do you want me to call you?
Because I would rather know that you're going to, based on what you say, by proving it, by saying you can also call me. It would mean that much to me. If you can't, it's okay. If you cannot, then okay, I'll reach out to you. But if you can and you will, I would appreciate it. So will you call me on Saturday morning at 9:45 so that we can do, finish this conversation?
I will.
Say it again.
I said I will.
You will. Okay. I appreciate it. So I'm going to let you go now. Saturday is a long time. But if you have any more time before Saturday, will you let me know?
You're so funny. Oh, my God.
So you think if you can get me in before Saturday, will you do it?
I will try.
That's all I ask. Okay. Well, have fun doing whatever you have to do, and thanks for taking my call and giving me this time. It means the world to me, and if there's any way I can give it back to you in some kind of way, let me know, and I will stop at nothing to make sure it's done.
You are funny. You are very funny.
So I'm mean and funny. Why can't I just be who God created me to be? Why do I have to be what you call me?
Why do I have to know what all of that stuff is?
You don't have to. I just didn't want to leave you to your own thoughts and wondering in case it was important to you. You would have some peace in knowing and understanding. That's all.
Okay.
Okay, what?
I said okay.
Okay, what? What are you okaying?
Whatever.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay. Well, I won't hold you. I'll let you go. And I'll.
Are you are recording this?
What
Obviously.
difference does it make? Would you say something differently if I was or was not recording
No,
it?
I definitely wouldn't. It would be exactly what I'm saying right now.
So why does it matter if it's being recorded?
It was just a question.
I know it was a question. Now I'm asking you a question back. Why does it matter?
It doesn't.
Okay, so why do you need to know so badly?
Because you're supposed to tell me that you're going to record me.
Okay, I told you the other day that if I call you on this number, chances are I'm calling. That's what I'm doing.
So you have to remind me that that's what
Well, I'm reminding you now, and the next time you see this number, it's likely going to be recorded. So is that good enough, or do you need special treatment where I announce to you like, a grand entrance?
Yeah. What? Yep. Okay.
Yep, what?
Nada.
Why are you so far back?
I'm talking. I don't
Oh.
have. I have you on speakerphone.
I
Because
knew
my
it.
hands are busy.
Do you know
I'm
that's the
typing.
worst way to try to have a phone conversation when you're trying to do an interview is on speaker? But okay, I'll leave it alone. But you're supposed to be busy anyway, so you're not supposed to even be talking to me.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for giving me
For. All right. So Saturday it is. It is.
Señor, ten piedad. Cristo, ten piedad. Because, Señor,
Wait a minute. Are you gonna listen?
ten
I don't need to hear you singing
piedad.
in the phone. You're getting on my nerves, and that's where I was ending the conversation. But if you want to talk, then I'll come back.
I thought you said that you needed prayer.
What do you mean you thought I said that? I either said it or I didn't.
You said earlier in the conversation that you needed prayer.
Did I tell you what I needed prayer for? Or you don't remember?
You said you needed prayer because, no, I don't remember, but I remember that you
Okay,
said
so
you
then if you don't remember, let's not talk about what I said, because if we can't equate it or compare it or pair it with what I said, it could mean anything, and I don't want you to like misquote me or, what were you going to say anyway about me saying that?
I don't remember. I apologize. I think about it.
All right.
I mean, that is so bad that I said it.
Don't worry.
I am not.
Oh, I think I remember what it was. I remember what it was I said I needed prayer with that you laughed about. I said I was talking about something and I said I will need prayer on how to work on being overly concerned about how people feel and what they think.
You have a perfect recall memory of the things that you say.
Well, that was conveniently because I didn't want to be misquoted, especially when you're talking about me saying I need prayer, because people need prayer for different things. And if somebody would hear me say that, I would want them to pray for the right thing. So now do you remember what I said I needed prayer about, since you were going to talk about it?
That you said that you needed prayer to learn how not to be mean to people.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
No.
When we were talking
I
about
just
it in
said
the
I
instant
needed
of that
prayer
day that
to
you
help me
realized
not
that
to
you were
be
bringing yourself
concerned.
back from this deep realization that people think that you're mean, but you're really not mean. It's just your disposition of how you do things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Blah, 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 blah.
No, I missed all of that. Repeat that.
I can't talk right now.
Well, don't be saying stuff if you can't talk. You mean you can't repeat it right now?
I can't. I'm trying to do this thing. I already messed up a line. Oh my God. It's so funny. Okay, so when you were in this, I have no recollection of the exact title of what is it that you were going into this deep retrospect. That one day we had a conversation that was like mind-blowing, earth-shattering, all kinds of things. And then you went through this reckoning, I guess, where you realized that you were misunderstood or missed something. And then you were like hoping that people did not perceive you in a certain way because it was not intended, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera.
The blah, blah, blah is really bothering me. You really have to be specific if you're suggesting that I quoted something, because I don't want to leave you to your own thoughts and imagination. If you're going to say I said something, blah, blah, blah is not in it. I don't even use that lingo.
So just so you know that people that have recollective memory like me, I have to go back to the moment. My brain is actually going into the Rolodex to remember a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning that you called me and you said you were going through this introspective rebuilding of whatever. I'm trying to remember the exact terminology.
Do you care? Does it matter what the terminology was before you state it?
For you, For you, it does. For me, it's just I remember you were like in deep.
I know, but when you don't remember, do we need to talk about what it could have been before you make the statement? Because if you make the statement, we're going to be inaccurate about its meaning. So if you're saying I called you about something and I said something else, we need something it needs to be consistent and relative or relevant. So you're about to say something based on something else, but you can't remember what the something else was.
Because that was something that is not right now in front of my plate. So
okay, well then why don't you either? Okay, so you want to make the statement. You want to make the statement without.
I like I said, I am not in the capability of talking right now because I'm in the middle of doing this.
Well, then why don't you hang up? Why don't you go then? Why don't you say, listen, I'll talk to you Saturday, or give me another time, and I will be ready for you.
I'll talk to you Saturday.
Bye.
Bye.
SWYM. Say what you mean. As much as this information is designed to bring awareness to how we listen, hear, and process, it is also a form of therapy. The little person inside of all of us needs to be heard. As adults, even listening to ourselves is a form of healing, strengthening, and growth. It's okay to speak, talk, express yourself, and be heard, even if you're the only listener. If our testimony does anything at all for anyone else, that makes the continued effort worth the time. Get the words out. You'll feel better, and that's a promise. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
You know, sometimes it seems like all the good times are gone. But you got to keep on searching. You got to keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. For example, take me standing right here today. I would not be here with you if I believed the things that the people say. You got to keep on